Welcome back to another episode of the 2-in-1 Golf Podcast. It's episode 63. Mike and I are here. We're missing one person, Madison, second episode in a row. Apparently, he's supposed to join us. We will wait and see if that actually happens. But, Mike, we're here. How are you doing?
Sterling, doing great. Coming off a great Mother's Day weekend. Just want to give a shout out to all our mothers out in the audience. Thank you all very much for everything that you all do. None of us would be here without you.
That's awesome. That's a great little touch there, Mike. Yeah, shout out to my mom. Been my mom for 27 years. We had a nice Sunday in the rain. But yeah, so move on to the golf. Thank you to the moms. I know it was nice and short, simple. Rose Zhang, she won her second ever LPGA Tour event at the Cognizant Founders Cup. While I believe she just finished her junior year at Stanford. So I just want to say congratulations to her for finishing up her junior year, and also congratulations to her beating Madeline. Is it Sagstrom?
Sagstrom. Yes. Madeline Sagstrom.
Awesome. I'm not sure if you have watched, and I know we don't like to shout out other, competitors too often, but No Laying Up. I have to give them a shout out here because they've done a great job covering the women's game. They did a week in the life of Madeline Sagstrom. Have you seen that video?
I've seen that. It's excellent.
It's a really good video. I mean, they take you Monday through Sunday. She's battling the cut. I believe she chips in on Friday afternoon to make it by 1, and then has like a so-so weekend. But just a cool video to see what goes on in the week of the life of a PGA Tour, LPGA Tour pro. And then Rose Zhang, her Stanford team, they did a week in the life with them, and that's practicing. I believe it was like Sunday. I don't know how they do the schedule, but basically it was like 2 or 3 days of practice, a travel day, practice round, and then they played 36 holes one day and then 18 holes the following day, and like they absolutely destroyed everyone in that tournament. So again, shout out to No Laying Up. Check out those 2 videos. That No Laying Up video is the reason why Rose Zhang is my favorite LPGA Tour player. So super happy for her.
Yeah, that's both of those videos were really well done. I'm with you. That really made me a Rose fan as well. And the show that the two of them put on this Sunday was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they just boat raced the rest of the field. Gabby Ruffles had a pretty good tournament and was just, nowhere in sight of the two of them. They were just playing a completely different tournament. It felt like, and honestly, for the longest time, I felt like Sagstrom had it, and then, Rose just came roaring in. It's not like Madeline really kicked it away or anything, but Rose just found another gear and was just nails coming down the stretch. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah, I believe she birdied like her 4 out of the last 6 holes.
Yeah.
And those 2, 13 shots clear.
Yeah.
Of the rest of the field. I mean, just
that's
unbelievable. Nelly Korda, unfortunately, couldn't get 6 in a row. But again, I want to give her flowers. Still played well. T7, 7 under, which if you really think about it, like you take away Rose and Sagstrom, like only 2 back of third place.
Right.
So still a really good week, took home $70K. Did you see her Met Gala dress?
Speaking of giving Nelly her flowers, yeah, the Nelly dress was a big hit in the Iovino household. So yeah, a lot of fans of that here. I thought that was really cool, and honestly, I feel like that kind of takes her stardom to a new level, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah, did you see she was the first golfer on both sides to attend the Met Gala since Tiger in, I think it was either 2013 or 2014. which is crazy.
Very
I can't
cool.
I can't picture Tiger.
No, that does not seem like his scene at all.
Right.
Not
I need
a
to go
bit.
back and just type it in to see what he was wearing, like, I'm assuming just, like, a nice tux or something. Um, I'm trying to think, was that, like, him and Lindsey Vonn? Was that era? Or am I way off on that?
2013, no, that could be. That yes. Good call.
Ooh, yeah, nice. You like that? Is
Very,
it
very good call.
they went together?
It is Tiger and Lindsay.
Awesome. Um, but yeah. Anything else from the Cognizant?
No, no, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Always nice to see high level golf being played in my home state of New Jersey. And then they are on to the Mizuho at Liberty National. So
Yeah.
staying in the New York metro area.
Yeah, hopefully they get some better weather this week. I know,
Yeah.
Rose and Saxon, I heard them talk about it a bunch, but just, like, brutal conditions, high
Hmm.
winds,
Yeah.
very chilly. Um, moving on into the Wells Fargo Championship, another basically two-horse race, but eventually Rory McIlroy pulled away in old school Rory fashion, I might add. Rory won by 5, but, I mean, he had a stretch of 8 holes where he was 8 under.
Yeah.
4 birdies, 2
Two
eagles,
Eagles.
a chip in, bombing drives, QI10, unstoppable.
Hmm.
Um, I I didn't expect it. I I was out of town this weekend at a race. Um, didn't do too hot. Lost in the second round. I know everyone's wondering, but it was off and on rain, just like you all got here. I was in
Hmm.
Upper Maryland, close to Delaware, and had an opportunity to watch a lot of golf Thursday and Friday. Um, and I mean, Xander looked like Xander. Um, you know, if you take away Scotty from the PGA Tour conversation this year, I think, your top 3 would have to be Wyndham Clark,
Hmm.
Xander.
Okay. And yeah, it's tough to pick that
Uh,
third after that. You know, it really
yeah, I don't know
is.
why I said 3. I should just said 2. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Are you going
that's
Jake
what it
Knapp
is.
after those two? It is
Gosh.
you're reaching. You're definitely reaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um, go ahead.
well, what I was gonna say is Xander looked like Xander for the first 3 rounds and the beginning of Sunday, and then Xander looked like Xander again coming down the stretch. And I don't know, it was just absolutely it was tough to watch that as Rory was just putting him in a body bag. But that was really the Rory of old. And so I've been to Quail Hollow. I saw the 2017 PGA there. You've been to Quail Hollow. You saw
Mhm.
President's Cup there. I haven't seen the golf course play like this, firm and fast and balls bouncing off greens. And I'm here for it. I am definitely here for it. I would love to see more of that out of that golf course. And I don't know if I know they changed the greens over, and that probably had something to do with it. I know we're going to be there a lot. I hope they can make that golf course play that way again, because that was just so cool to see Rory really be able to separate himself from the field.
Yeah, I was watching on Sunday, and the first hole, Alexander hits, like, a little bleeder cut off that bunker and has, like, 211 in, 7 iron. He hits
Hmm.
this absolutely towering high draw, lands center of the green, rolls off the back,
Yep.
and then Rory goes over the trees with a driver, has, like, a wedge in, hits it a couple of feet, and makes a putt. Um, Quail Hollow could be something very special in the next 20 years. They're hosting a handful of events. I know they're hosting another PGA. I believe they're
Hmm.
hosting another team event. Um, Definitely, I'll say this: the Carolina, especially the North Carolina area, is becoming a, what do they say, a hotbed?
Yeah,
Is that right?
absolutely. That's
I
right.
don't know.
You got it right.
No idea what that means. No clue. People say it. I just pulled it out of my you know what. But yeah, the Carolinas are becoming like I said, a hotbed for golf. So Pinehurst this year, and then the Quail for the next 20 years. Pinehurst is now like the U.S. Open, not the U.S. Open, the USGA. What do they call it? Like the
Yeah, HQ2, it's their second headquarters, and I get the feeling that more and more of their operations are gonna move out of New Jersey and move down to Pinehurst because they've got a much better facility there. You know, they've got all the real estate they could possibly need, all the golf courses that they could possibly want. They can really get a lot done there. And then, it's interesting because it's two completely different parts of the state and two different geographies, really. You look at Pinehurst and the Sand Hills, and you get a very different style of golf than you're going to get in Charlotte. But Charlotte, great sports town, center of the financial industry here in the US. And I think that Quail, if they keep improving the golf course, really can become kind of an anchor for golf. And again, like if it can always play like it did on Sunday, then I'm interested.
yeah. It also has one of the one of the toughest finishing three holes in golf.
Hmm. Absolutely.
17. Oh man, I'm sure you saw it when you went there in 2017. Just looking just at that water. I don't know. There's something about it that you just feel kind of at peace.
Hmm.
Because just watching it, I couldn't imagine actually playing it because
Right.
there is no peace with all that water left on 17. Um, but a beautiful hole there, and then you have 18 with the. Does the creek have a name? If not, it
It
should
needs a
because it's
name.
very iconic.
Yeah,
It needs a
definitely
name.
needs a name.
Beautiful clubhouse just behind the 18th green.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm very excited for
Yeah.
the events coming to Quail Hollow.
Yeah, 17 is pretty amazing. When we went, I got to go with the whole family, my dad, my wife, my kids, my sister and brother-in-law who both live in Charlotte. And we probably walked the entire golf course a couple times, and then we plopped down behind the 17th green and just camped for, I don't know, probably an hour and a half and watched it absolutely wreck people. It was so much fun. That must be cool to watch in, a team match play type situation as well, because obviously, it's nerve-wracking enough when you're just playing for yourself, but you're playing for your country and a teammate, and yeah, having to hit that shot.
Yeah, I'm sure we talked about it in the President's Cup recap
Mhm.
episode, but they moved some of the holes around to
Oh, that's
where
right, yeah.
the 18th hole was the 16th hole for the President's Cup, and obviously the 17th would have been the 15th. That way, if there's match play and you close out early, like you still kind of get those holes in the mix.
Right.
Um, but yeah, obviously a little bit more conservative in the team play because it's match play, unless you're down big. Like I think we watched, who was it? I think it was Kisner. I mean, kind of a shorter hitter. I mean, he hit some sort of long iron, just center of the green, and two putted. But yeah, I mean, it was awesome. Um,
Very cool.
but yeah,
Very cool. So yeah, does this I know win number 25 for Rory had a little bit of an asterisk on it being a team win, but now that this gets him to 26, I feel like that almost nullifies any argument about 25. He's solidly at 26 now.
yep, 100%. We can talk about the Zurich real quick. Um, even though it was like 3 weeks ago, but yeah, him and Shane Lowry went in
Mhm.
there. I think probably besides Cantley and Xander, probably the highest like average rank between the two players.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, so like no surprise there. They went in there and they handled their business. I can't remember the names that they beat
Oh,
in the playoff.
that was a real odd couple. Martin Trainer and was it Ryan
Jaeger.
Brem?
Oh, who's Steven Jaeger? He was in the playoff?
No, it wasn't Jaeger. Jaeger's the guy who beat Scotty out at Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was
Gotcha,
Ryan
okay.
Brown who played with Martin Trainer, and Trainer just absolutely train wrecked coming coming down the stretch.
Yeah, it's so funny, like, Rory and Shane, like, they're set. They need absolutely no more money,
Right,
no
right.
more exemptions. You got guys in there that are fighting for their PGA Tour lives. Um, and I always kind of find that situation, like, interesting, like, let's say I'm playing you, Mike, and you are Jordan Spieth or you're Justin Thomas, and I am, like Minuli's kind of up there now. Like he hasn't gotten a win, he's not secure. But what we got going on here?
Oh,
Whoa,
here we go. Madison.
am I seeing this correctly? Did anyone else just see the S? An S popped up, and I was like, "Who is this?"
S for Squadcaster. Madison hasn't put his name in the form yet.
Ah,
Also hasn't turned
it's
his
been a
mic
while.
on. Yeah. He's a little rusty.
It's really been a
It's
while.
it,
I mean, welcome back.
it's been a minute for sure.
Is that a ring on your finger? Did you get married since the time that? No, I'm just kidding.
That would be a crazy turn of events, right?
Wouldn't it?
Shout out Danielle.
What's up?
Madison,
Where you been?
Back.
Thank you. I've been on the road a lot. Been to West Virginia recently, then Roanoke again, and headed back out to Roanoke for the day on Friday this week, and then hopefully never again. But I know that's not true. So
Yeah, Roanoke seems to be the center of your universe.
it is, unfortunately. If you've been to Roanoke, I mean, it's a lovely place. There's some things to do there, but yeah, once you've seen it once, driving through it, that's pretty much it.
It's a charming little city. Charming little city.
Yeah, if I mean, it's really pretty landscape and everything, but yeah, I've seen it enough.
Well, it's good to have you back. We were just wrapping up Wells Fargo, talked about the Zurich a little bit. We can hit Myrtle Beach for just a second. And the reason I want to do that is I want to shout out Little Silver, New Jersey's own Chris Gotterup from my hometown, Little Silver, New Jersey, is your winner at the Myrtle Beach Classic. So let's hear it for our Jersey boys out there. Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yeah, interesting event for sure.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool event. They had the Bryan Bros out there, George on a sponsorship exemption. They hosted the Q, which featured aspiring professionals, some mini tour players and guys who are kind of grinding on the Corn Ferry Tour, as well as influencers. I guess our invite, Madison, got lost in the mail. No worries, though. Hopefully they'll be there next year. I think I saw something where they were the highest attended what do you call it, like cross field event,
additional event. Don't call it opposite field. It's an additional event. Yeah,
that's on me, Myrtle Beach. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'll still take the invite for next year.
Yeah, I assumed it would pretty well attended. The amount of, I'd say, kind of like viral marketing they did leading up to it. I don't know if you saw all the YouTube videos, just kind of introducing a lot of the influencers, introducing a lot of the players, and kind of what the tournament was. But they started filming those, weeks and months, and started slowly releasing them, and it was great content, man. I mean, there was some stuff that you learned about some guys that were out on the Corn Ferry Tour, and or have been kind of beating around on the mini tours, and just haven't really had that break, that were out there. So really kind of cool mix of event, mix of, I guess, players, 8 influencers, 8 professionals. But yeah.
Yeah, and it was nice to see George. It was nice to see George get the sponsors invite. He came really close to winning that Q event, and I think acquitted himself pretty well in that. So did not catch how he did in the tournament itself, but not good.
Miscut.
Was
Shout
it?
out Kevin Kisner.
Okay.
Miscut. George Bryan, miscut. Wesley Bryan, he was 3 under with 2 holes left. Goes bogey, cut, moves up to 2 under,
Ooh,
misses the cut.
ouch.
That's painful for the young man who just finished second place. And another additional event. I was surprised to see that they gave George Bryan another sponsorship exemption because he just blew it in the playoff. I mean, not in the playoff, he blew it in the queue. He was 6 under. I think I was 4 under. He made bogey. I think I made birdie. Go to a playoff. He loses. Why even put him through that? I mean, I guess he's a name.
He's a
so
name.
you get like
Yeah.
eyes, but I don't know. I thought it was a little unfair because were they going to give it to him like regardless? I think so. It's like if he would have won the queue, then would they have given it to another person in the queue? Like how does that work?
Yeah, I mean the whole thing's kind of a publicity stunt anyway. So, whatever they can do to get eyeballs, whatever they can do to sell tickets for the tournament, I kind of can't fault them too much. They're hassling and just trying to generate. They're hustling and trying to generate some buzz. So,
I mean, it worked.
yeah, it did. It did.
Gotta hand it to him.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of the appetizers.
Time for the main course.
Let's get into that main. Let's get in that main course. Let's get into the 2 for 20 main dish. It's PGA Championship week. It's a special week for me. Obviously, this is my tournament. Shout out to the PGA Tour for posting their post this morning. I don't know if you all saw it. It was the PGA Tour logo and then the PGA of America logo, and it said us versus not us. Love it. People get that confused all the time. I had to share that on our 2-in-1 Instagram. If you haven't followed us, go ahead and check us out. We are now at 620 followers. PGA Championship week. Scotty Scheffler is back. Rory McIlroy has won 2 of his last 2 starts. Brooks Koepka also coming off a win on the Live Tour. We're back at Valhalla since 2014, where Rory is the defending champion at this course. Brooks Koepka is the PGA defending champion, and Michael Block and 20 other PGA professionals are in the field this week. Where do we want to start? I mean, there's so much to talk about. Madison, since you've been gone for the last 3 months, we'll let you pick.
Oh, I'm taking my pick?
No. Sorry. I'll let you just pick
Pick
where
the
we want
topic.
to start. That we can talk about Rory and his wife splitting
my
up,
God.
and maybe that's why he's played.
Yeah, I think let's start with the block party. I know that's your favorite topic, and I just don't want to get that swept under the rug. I want to make sure that we make time for it. The other stuff, not as interesting, of course, but Michael Block, clearly the story here, right?
You think he's going to be passing out chicken fingers on the first tee?
I bet he has a Canes logo on every part of his body.
Maybe stamped on
Michael Block
as well.
Michael Block is back. I don't think he'll make too much noise this week. I'm not too worried about it. I think the block party will officially be over after this week. This will probably be the last we see of him until he qualifies again.
DJ Khaled told him, don't say no to anything. Just take the bag wherever you can get it. I think Block successfully did that over the last 365 days. And yeah, the block party's over. We need to take the kegs back. We need to get our deposit. We need to clean up, get all those cups picked up off the front yard. The neighbors are looking at us a little bit funny. They're just itching to call the cops. It's time to shut it. It's time to shut it down. But 2 Virginia PGA pros, actual working PGA pros, playing in the event this year. Larkin Gross out of Westwood Country Club in Fairfax, and Josh Spate out of the club at Vinatera here in the greater Richmond metro area. So love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. What do you think, Sterling? Maybe 2028, 2029? Do we see Sterling Simmons makes a run in the PGA Professional Championship? Finishes, squeaks into the top 10?
I don't know. 2028, I'll be 33 years old. That's not right.
Prime.
I'll be 31.
It's also not right.
Oh, man. I'll be 31 years old in 2028. Past my prime. Who knows if I'll even be playing golf? Nah, yeah. Obviously, shout out to those two. It's not their first time. I had the honor and pleasure of playing with Larkin last year in an event. Very interesting. Nothing really jumps off the page about his game. Just obviously very consistent and can roll the rock. He's a very process-oriented guy. Doesn't matter if it's a 5-footer or a 20-footer. He's going through the same routine, and he likes to, think out loud with whoever he's playing with. So very interesting to see him play. Don't know Josh a whole lot, but yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to Wyatt, African American, sponsored by Eastside Golf.
Yep,
pretty cool.
Very
just
cool.
To see him in the field. But yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Madison, let's call it right here. Sterling makes the PGA Championship. We're doing live from.
I'm hoping if he's at the PGA Championship, I'm hoping I'm on the bag. Like, I hope I'm just there.
Oh, okay.
Well, hold on. Let me think about that. Let me go.
You will
maybe
don't even.
Probably not.
I'll put your thinking.
No.
I don't want to
stop right here. Do we?
You do not want to be on the bag.
Do we want to recap the State Open from last year when Madison was on the bag?
It was your best round. I don't know what you're talking about.
Were you there for the entire 18 holes?
At the State Open? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then what about the following day?
Like I said, it was the best round that you played, the one that I was on the bag.
When I needed him most, he disappeared. Call him the Avatar.
Not true. I wasn't even supposed to be on the bag. Let's get that straight. I wasn't even supposed to be on the bag. I asked him several times, you want me to be on the bag? You want me to caddy? No, I think I'm good. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just come out there and film. I'll come out there and take some cool photos. I'll do all that. And then we get there. I show up. He's on the range. I was like, yeah, I'm just take some photos. He's like, well, why don't you can just get in the cart and you can just be my caddy. And then, maybe we could take some pictures along the way. I took 0 pictures because I caddied the whole time. So I wasn't even supposed to be there, and I still showed up.
Well, so we're talking about me potentially playing, right? We still are, I guess, because now we're just on the caddy part. I want to headline the 2027 through the 2027 through 2030 sites. We have PGA Frisco. Been there before. Not a fan. No comment.
Ooh.
The Olympic Club in 2028. Ooh, that'd
yes,
be
please.
Yeah, I know, right? 2029. Baltusrol. I can't say it.
Baltusrol.
Shout out Jimmy Walker.
Yeah.
And then 2030. Are we ready for this? Have you guys seen this?
No.
Congressional Country Club.
Oh.
Could you imagine the party? We got Sterling Simmons from Richmond, Virginia, just 2 hours south of Congressional playing in the PGA Championship. Just go ahead and book the house now.
There we go. All right. It's happening. You heard it here first, folks.
6 years from now.
All
That's
right.
plenty of time. Plenty of time to get your game straight.
Yep. All right. So after breaking down the PGA professionals, Scotty, they had the baby. Is he getting any sleep? Sterling, you have no idea what this is like. Madison and I have been through this a couple times. I was a zombie. I was an absolute walking corpse after the birth of both of my children. This guy's playing in a major championship.
Yeah, I unfortunately, if it's bearded Scotty that shows up, I'd say he's got a shot. But if he comes clean shaven, bags under his eyes, I'm gonna write him off. We might even see a miscut out there. I don't know. I mean, I think he's probably getting sleep. I'm sure Meredith is allowing him to take some breaks every once in a while. He just showed up yesterday. Just showed up yesterday. I think he played nine holes. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to see out of him. With Scotty, you always expect the best, and he pretty much performs, or he's like right around the top 10, top 15. So I don't know what we're going to see. I think the big story this week, though, is Rory and Brooks. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch Claire Rogers. She does a kind of a sit down with some of the players. I can't remember what it is. They eat ice cream and do it. It's kind of like Sunday Conversations, but a little more PG. And she sat down with Brooks, and she was like, who's the one guy that you would, if you had to play with one player for the rest of your life, who would it be? And surprisingly enough, he was like, it would be Rory McIlroy. And she's like, well, why? And he's like, a lot of people wouldn't think that, but we're just so competitive. Like, if he wins one, I want to win one. And if I win one, he wants to win one. So it's just kind of that competitive edge. So I think that's going to be the big story this week. Obviously, Rory has several other headlines, which, could definitely fuel him this week. Obviously, there's some stuff going on with his relationship. He wasn't asked back to the policy board or players board. Supposedly, he and Tiger are having a little bit of a falling out right now. So who knows? I mean, this could be like just straight up fuel for Rory, and he could go out there and blitz the field. I don't know.
Is this all bulletin board material? Because, all this is, his resurgence has really started to happen kind of around the time of the policy board snub. And, obviously we're just finding out about his marriage breaking down, but that hasn't happened just recently. I'm sure that this has been in the works for a little while now, and he's been getting his affairs in order there as far as that goes. And yeah, I mean, are these kind of the chips that he needs on his shoulders to go out there and, make the golf course kind of his sanctuary, and that he's just going to go out there and tear it up because it gets him away from everything else? Yeah, certainly looks like it.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think Scotty's getting a bunch of sleep, to be honest. I mean, unless they put makeup on him before he did his press conference today. No bags under the eyes, had the beard, looked like normal Scotty. I haven't seen.
Maybe this is a break
over the last.
Maybe this is a break for him. He's away. He's out of the house. He's not on daddy duty. He's not taking that 2 a.m. feeding so Meredith can sleep, trying to score points with the wife. He's allowed to be locked in. I didn't get to get locked in.
Do you know that babies are born with 306 bones in their body? And then by the time they're a full grown adult, they only have 206.
Wait, you lose 100 bones over the course of your lifetime?
Yep.
That doesn't seem right.
Babies are losing bones. They don't have kneecaps. I had a baby shower. No, I don't know if it's a baby shower or what, but someone at my job is 8.5 months pregnant, and we had like this baby thing, and we were doing like baby trivia. 2,500 diapers a year. Nuts. And that's like 6 diapers a day. It's unbelievable.
That's about right. If you've lived that life. Actually, a 6 diaper day isn't a bad one.
Yeah.
I just like, what are we changing?
This is blowing Sterling's mind right now.
It is.
Honestly,
Sterling's like,
they were-
never for me, man. Never. This will not happen.
If we really want to get into it, the trivia was 12 questions. Guess how many I got right out of 12? It was A, B, C, D.
I'd say
Multiple
maybe
choice.
2.
I got
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Only 3% of babies are actually born on their due date, which, I mean, that's like how rare is it? Like that's kind of common sense. What else was it? Like what do you call them? The fingerprints. 3 months in the womb, they have fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
Just unbelievable stuff, man. It's
this is just blowing Sterling's mind.
And then they had the nerve to ask me for advice. Like, do you want to give the mom any advice? And I was like, what do I know?
Sterling's like, just get yourself 100 pack of diapers and you'll be set for the year.
You know what I said? I said, get a bell. Don't want to lose that little guy running around. I had a bell on me. I had a little bell on my shoes so they knew where I was.
Oh, God.
That's classic. That's absolutely classic. Madison, were you ever worried about losing one of your kids, like just around the house?
No.
That never occurred to me. There were times I tried to lose them.
Yeah. Sometimes the silence is welcomed. And you're just like, you know what? I think they'll probably be all right.
I don't know. In my house, the silence meant they were planning something. When you have 2 and they're quiet, they're plotting. They're definitely plotting.
Yeah.
They're plotting. All right, let's get into the big cat.
Yeah.
I don't know how we've gone 37 minutes.
And not talked about the big cat.
Goatee Tiger is out prowling the grounds. Says if he can, put it together for all 4 days, he can still win. I believe that. We saw flashes, at Augusta. But then we also saw, the bad side. I believe he put up an 80, was it an 83, 82 on that Saturday. I don't like his chances, to be honest, especially with the goatee. I think it's a bad look. But maybe he's just trying to pull some of that Scotty beard magic.
I don't think this week sets up well for him. I don't think that it's not the course itself, but the weather, I think, is going to work against him. We're going to see weather delays. It's going to be stopping and starting. It's going to be soggy and a crappy walk. And yeah, I applaud him for giving it a shot. But, certainly I think if we get weather in the first 2 days and there are delays and the schedule gets thrown off, I think it's just going to absolutely wreak havoc on him. And I want to see him at Pinehurst. I want to see him at Troon. I want to see him on golf courses that are firm and fast and bouncy, where going out there and hitting shots, hitting crispy iron shots is really going to matter. I think this is just going to be a slog this week.
Sterling, your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I already said I don't like his chances, so I'm not really sure why you're throwing it back to me. But yeah, I agree with everything that Mike just said. Hitting fairways are going to be a premium, obviously. And I've never really trusted Tiger off the tee. And with the, taped up leg, just hitting out of that rough with the weather is going to be brutal. But if you watch the live from coverage, he's in great spirits. He's very happy out there. Like him and JT were, chatting it up on the driving range, and like I said, he just looks happy to be out there. So like I'm happy for him. And I just really hope, like, even if he goes out and shoots even and misses the cut, like, that's fine. I don't want to see even makes a cut and then throws a 90 up. I mean, I think that's just
Hmm.
so depressing to see. Like, honestly, I'd rather see him stay home and get healthy, and we still have the what if kind of thoughts in our mind instead of just him playing and absolutely, pooping the bed.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to ask yourself though, like, at what point, what's enough rest to get healthy for him? Like, he's never going to be that healthy. We've seen him take some time off to get healthy, like in between tournaments, and he still comes out and he may be able to put together 2 rounds. But then, like you said, you make the cut and then you throw up an 85 or an 86, and then you're just falling out of the leaderboard. So I guess my question is, like, when he was first coming back, everyone thought, oh, if he just plays the majors, if that's all he does, if he just plays the majors, he can go out there and he could potentially win another one. He could at least be in contention because he'll have so much time in between. But we haven't really seen that. So I guess the question becomes, like, if he comes out at the PGA Championship and maybe he makes the cut and then kind of has a very similar result to Augusta where he just kind of falls apart on the weekend, at what point do you just kind of say, do you just start writing him off in tournaments? And I'm not saying that anyone's necessarily saying that he's going to win this week, but like, at what point does it just kind of become more of the norm, just to kind of see him show up to these majors? Maybe he puts a good round together, or maybe 2 rounds, and then just ejects after that.
I mean, I think it's honestly becoming more and more likely because I think with his greatness on just sheer will and adrenaline, he can get himself through the first 2 days and conjure up something really great. But then I think he's just spent after that. I think he's just absolutely spent. He's got nothing left in the tank. And that's when you see something like what we saw at Augusta. And that's why, again, I think that, you know, a stop and start week, a long, wet, nasty slog, that's not going to set up well for him. I think, again, a Pinehurst, anything that the Open Championship is playing on, firm and fast, bouncy, an easier walk, just kind of easier underfoot, the whole 9 yards. I think that's going to set up better for him. I honestly, at this point, I wouldn't mind seeing him being even a little more selective, picking his spots a little bit more. And, maybe you skip a Valhalla because it's not a good fit. What has he got to prove here? Again, if he's just going to gut it out to make the cut and then blow up, I mean, that's really not getting him anything. He's not going to miss Augusta. He's never going to miss Augusta. Certain U.S. Open venues will be good for him. Certain ones won't. Open Championship is always going to be good for him. I wouldn't have a problem if he could take a pass on a place like this.
Yeah, I mean, I mainly agree with you there, Mike. I think the only thing that's really preventing him from doing that is that what if
Oh, yeah.
he catches fire, which could happen. Then we're looking at number 16. So, do you want to get into picks?
Let's do it.
Should we take a PGA professional and a dark horse and a main horse? Shout out Kentucky.
There you go.
Since we're in horse country, let's do it. I like that.
I've gotten some kickback on social media for always picking Minwoo Lee, so he's going to be off my list. I do want the listeners to know that I am picking him. He won't be in my picks, if that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and take Wyatt Worthington the second for my PGA professional. Just go ahead and get ahead of that.
Like that. I like that. All right, I'll jump in. I got to go with the hometown guy. I'll take Josh Speight for my PGA professional. Beat Madison to the punch on that.
Yeah, I was just out at Venetera this morning, so that's who I was going to go with.
Oh,
No worries, no worries. Who's our other Virginia native? Larkin.
Larkin Gross.
Larkin Gross.
Larkin Gross.
I'll go Larkin Gross just to keep it Virginia.
Okay.
Nice.
Do we want to do
All
snake
right.
draft? Let Madison go next again.
Sure, Madison, you can go first for the dark horse.
Oh, this is a dark horse pick too. God, how many picks are we gonna have?
How dark does our dark horse have to be? What's the definition of dark horse here?
Let's go outside the top 50 in the world.
Oh man.
Top 50. All right.
We can do top like 30 if you want.
Let me see. I'd have to double check his ranking right now.
Who is it?
I was gonna go Brendan Todd.
Oh, you're safe. Gotta be safe.
I would think
right?
he's got to be like 40.
Brendan Todd. Hang on, where is he? Can you search for players on here? You can. I'm too far away from my keyboard. I'm not going to. I don't see him in the top 30, so we'll just assume that he's outside of it.
Yeah, I think he would be.
Brendan Todd. Interesting. Don't hate it.
All right. Dark horse. Give me Foxy. Ryan Fox. Pride of New Zealand.
That's a good pick.
Kind of surprised he's at 58 in the world. He's kind of a killer.
I'm gonna go kind of the opposite. Not a killer, lovable guy, dark horse. Give me the lefty, Akshay Bhatia, sitting right there at 34th in the world.
Oh,
I might want to change mine.
Well played.
No,
well played.
You like that?
I might want to change mine.
One a month and a half ago. Brendan Todd's not in the field.
I might want to change mine.
Is Brendan Todd in the field?
Oh, okay. I might want to change mine though.
Okay.
Let me go with the asterisks, not top 30 in the world. I'm going to go with Joaquin.
Wait. How are you gonna say? Okay, I like the pick, but I thought you were going Taylor Gooch. I mean,
no.
The setup. I was just thinking, he got an exemption to this event. PGA,
they had to beg him to come. They had to beg him to get out here just so they can prove it. I'm surprised he showed up.
Oh, good
surprised
grief.
He's going to show up.
Such a baby.
All-time interview with him and like Graham McDowell.
That was such a
Mark Leishman or whoever it was.
Yeah,
are you going to try to qualify for any of the Opens?
No.
No.
I'm not going to qualify for anything.
They'll invite me. Bad luck, PGA. What are we doing?
Such a baby.
He is.
Absolutely such a baby. Yeah, Neiman is still 91st in the world.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
by default.
I know.
It's hard to get points.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm surprised because I knew he made a little bit of a charge. I mean, props to Keen for doing that, for going out there, playing in whatever he could get in, getting some OWGR points, making things happen, and really making Taylor Gooch look like a brat in the process. So that's a win-win in my book.
Yeah.
All right, is it back to me for the main pick?
Back to you.
Can we pause real quick? Just want to say this. If Taylor Gooch doesn't go out and at least top 5, does he just become roasted all over the internet?
No. If he makes the cut, no one has the right to say anything.
If he makes the cut, then he's good. He gets a free pass.
If he makes
for
the
saying
cut,
that
yes.
none of these major should count if he's not there. Okay, wow. All right.
Makes the cut on the number. Makes the cut on the number.
Cut. I don't give a gosh darn.
All right, your choice.
I think he deserves to get. I think he deserves to get roasted unless he top tens.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for your tweet, Mike. I know you're on X. For my main pick, again, I can't take Minwoo Lee. Praying for a good week for him. Give me Ludwig.
Ooh.
I know one of you are going to take him. So, carpe diem.
Not worried about the injury. Not worried about the withdrawal last week.
Is he injured? Is he injured for real?
Is he hurt or is he injured?
I don't know. I saw him on the range. Beware of the sick golfer.
Yeah, he's fine.
Even though he's not sick.
No, he's fine. He's fine. All right, my turn. He's got that big dad energy coming in. He's getting some sleep, which he probably hasn't gotten. He probably feels like $1 million staying in that rental home. Give me Scotty. Total chalk pick.
It is, but it's a good one. I mean, it's hard to go against the world number one that just seems to continue to win. I'm kind of torn here because I originally came into this conversation thinking I was going to take Brooks, and I feel like that's a really strong pick because Rory could go either way. I mean, he could have his head could be spinning so much right now. He might not even be able to keep the ball on the planet. But we're going to look at the other end of the spectrum, and he is just absolutely locked in, and no one is going to beat him this week. So I'm going to take Rory, the McRib, to win at PGA. Sterling looks so enthused.
Yeah, I like that. I suppose, are we also going to throw our heart picks out there? Sterling, you with Minwoo, me with Sahith, Madison with Max.
Yeah, Madison. I was going to say
Max is the heart pick.
You weren't on the Masters episode. Let's get into it here for a second.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna run this back. We're gonna run this.
You weren't on you couldn't face the music.
What music did I have to?
Let's get into
You wrote them off before the week even started. After the first round, I was like, "Wow, Max is really playing well," and you're like, "It's the first round," and I'm like, I was like, "So round. I can't say a word."
Did he get it done?
Did he choke? The best Masters finish he's had.
Oh, so is that all we're playing for now? Is just the best finish he's ever had? I thought he was Max Homa. I thought we were trying to win major championships. I thought he was the LA King.
He is. He's not the Augusta King, though.
All right, that's fine. That's all I needed to hear.
Nah, Madison, I'll take up for you here, just like I did on the Masters pod. Max is trending up. Best finish in a major. He's finally getting that. Can't get a top 10 in a major monkey off his back. I don't know that this necessarily sets up real well for him. I can't wait to see Max at Pinehurst as well. I think that's going to be more fun. But no, I think that he took a lot more positive than negative away from Augusta.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's once you can kind of get in that mindset in a major, because it's kind of like Brooks has said so many times, like he's already ahead of half the field because they've already thought themselves out of it because of the pressure that a major brings. So once you can kind of get over the mental side of it and really just get out there and play the game that you're capable of playing, I think it's a lot easier to tee it up in majors. So hopefully that's what we see moving forward with him. I mean, I'd hate for it to be like just an absolute DFL this week, but we'll see on Friday.
Would you like to do a friendly wager?
Is this a friendly wager sponsored by FanDuel?
It can be. We can get the odds out. A Max Homa make miss cut.
All right.
Okay. How much would you like to put on? Just a little friendly wager, but we'll play the odds.
On
Shout out FanDuel. If you're not on FanDuel, what are you doing?
on a made cut.
So obviously you're taking them obviously to make.
Yeah, I'll throw a 20 spot on it.
Whoa. My pockets ain't that deep, cuz. Max Homa to make the cut is minus 330. So I give you $26 if he makes the cut. Let's see where my miss cut is here. To miss the cut, Michael Block. That's the top one. That's so funny. Oh no. Okay, here we go. To miss the cut, I gotta scroll all the way down.
Wait, Block is minus 1450 to miss.
Isn't that crazy? That's a lock if I've ever heard.
What are we doing here?
All right, Madison.
What are we doing here?
You owe me. If he misses the cut, you would owe me $69.
Oof. All right.
Nice.
All right, so 69 and 26. Come on, Maxie.
Just need him to lock into this week. I think I
wonder if Michael Block is the only PGA professional. He is.
He's
That's
his
ridiculous.
own. He's his own entity. He's somewhere in between a PGA professional, somewhere in between a fast food chain spokesperson, somewhere in between a PGA player.
A Michael Block top 5?
God, how much does that pay out?
I can't find it. I don't know. I can't find him. Oh, wait. So the PGA professionals are on the top 5, but you can't take them to miss the cut. Michael Block, plus 4,300.
For top 5?
A top
There's no
5.
shot. I mean, you could throw some money out just in case. No shot, though.
None. Set it on fire.
Yeah, just hand it. I mean,
donate to charity.
Yeah.
Just hand that to him. Just hand that to him.
Well,
thank you, FanDuel, for the odds.
Yes, thank you, FanDuel Sportsbook. If not on FanDuel again, what are you doing? Anything else from the PGA? We're going to be back next week to recap the PGA. Appreciate you all tuning in on this beautiful Tuesday night. But who knows when you're listening? It's Tuesday night for us. Madison was giving me a look like, why would you even say like what you're saying? But it's Tuesday night as we record this. Wherever you're listening, however you may be listening.
Or watching.
We appreciate you tuning.
Or watching.
Or watching on YouTube.
That's right. Watch us
Shout
on
out
YouTube.
to you if you're watching on YouTube. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get there. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you all next week for episode 64.